Good afternoon. Welcome to the BBC Asian Network. The name's Nihal, and I would like to know, is there anything that has happened over the weekend that has really got under your skin? Has an argument with a family member wound you up? Or maybe you've had a run-in with a friend, whether it's your husband criticising your cooking or you criticising his, or your next-door neighbour parking in your parking spot, or just unwelcome relatives. Brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, mother-in-laws. Well, now is the chance to get it off your chest. Each and every Monday, we are going to do letting off steam. Pure and simple. Letting off steam. And that's what we want you to do. So text me on 81869. You can email Nihal at bbc.co.uk or give me a call on 08459 440 445. Before I go to the three texts that have just come in, I'd like to introduce you my guests this afternoon, the journalists Nabila Ramdani and Shiv Malik, and the comedian Sajila Kershi. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Are you ready to put right 48 hours of chaos in the lives of the listeners of the BBC Asian Network?
How long do we have?
37 minutes. 36 minutes, give or take a few minutes. Nabila, weekends, right? Mm-hmm. We all get together.
Yeah.
Family, friends come from all various different countries or parts. Is there a pressure, do you think, on us to just enjoy?
I think so. I think there's a social pressure that, weekends should be, time for fun, and I don't quite always, know what fun should mean. Is it about partying, going out, or just, relax at home, having friends around,
left alone.
or being left alone, exactly.
But it's all that working week where you're all so busy, and then you kind of focus it in, don't you, Sajila, on those 48 hours?
There's a lot of pressure to have fun, and I don't know. I can't deal with the pressure. I just can't. I don't know what to do. What will make me have loads of fun? I don't know. It's so much fun. But I actually work normally on a Friday and Saturday.
Of course you do, yeah.
So
of course.
Sunday is my kind of, usually, if I'm not working, the big day. But the pressure,
when everyone turns up.
Everybody turns up. Family members turn up. Everybody turns up. But it's just like, oh my god, I should be enjoying. I'm like headless chicken. Am I having fun? I don't know. What's the criteria to have fun? I don't know.
Sort of self-referencing. Am I? I don't know. Am I?
And then repeating it to other people who come round. Are we having a good time? Are we having a good time?
You both have Woody Allen weekends. That's like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, honestly, my bet these weekends sort of become such, as you said, sort of just manic moments where you're sort of trying to meet everyone you didn't meet in the week, which you're never going to meet them in the week. So you sort of want to sit underneath, you're sort of in your bed with sort of the covers pulled over, like you're like 5 again. It's like a tent, and you're like, yes, I'm just going to stay here because it's nice and quiet and calm, and it's slightly warm. It's great. That's my idea of fun. But,
cool. And what's your idea of a nightmarish weekend then?
Well, I see. I know one of my family members is going to be listening now. I love them all. I love them all. But,
you said you changed names. You just said you changed names.
Yeah, a little hard now. But honestly, my mother. I love her to bits. I love my whole. Let's just start with. I love my whole family to bits. Right, I really do. What? Honestly, but like every single day, I live 10 minutes away from her. We're moving. I said we, being me and my wife. But I live 10 minutes away from her.
To Australia.
As it is, yeah. It's just as far as no. But she rings up every day. I'm just like, Mum, please. And she's like, oh, I haven't seen you for so long. I was like, oh, you saw me last night. I was there. We were having dinner. Don't you remember? She's like, oh yeah, but before that. And I was like, what do you mean before that? I was like, and honestly, and all my whole I think it's I was saying before, I feel like I should stand up for the so-called long-suffering Asian male. They're not really. Okay, surprise faces all around. I mean that totally.
Trust me, I'm with you.
Yeah, while you back away out the door.
Nabila and Sajila have got no love for us.
But it's
the pain that we go through.
It's a lot of kind of, mothers and sisters phoning their brothers and and sons and going, where are you? It's a lot of love going that way, which is great, and you end up with a lot of spoiled Asian males. But on the other hand, those who have waved the flag for not being so spoiled, perhaps, also say, it's like, oh my god, how many social engagements do I have to have before this like well of incompleteness is satisfied? I don't know. See, now that's getting Woody Allen.
There are people, of course, who got married in July and August who are still every weekend having to go and see people that attended their wedding. I mean, I know this from very good friends of ours. I think 2 years it took them to go and see everybody that was there, because of course they're a big Indian wedding, and by the time, actually, as I was just saying when a piece of music was playing to my esteemed guests here, that we still haven't taken them out for dinner for their wedding, and they've just had their first baby. So I mean,
it's all over.
And now again, it goes through. Now listen, texts are coming in. Already, please add to that. We've got 5 scenarios to put to you guys to discuss, and feel free when you hear what I read out, listening to BBC Asia Network, to get involved as well and offer your advice. Right, here we go. Number 1, right. My girlfriend Ramiza, who is at home all week whilst I do a 50-hour week at work. Last Saturday, I was so looking forward to relaxing. She had other ideas. Weather is good for getting the garage door sanded and painted, she insisted. I spent 6 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on a Sunday in the baking heat while she tanned in the garden. Not even a thanks. Or not even a thanks or a glass of water. This is from Salesh. P.S. The girl is from Sri Lanka. Any tips to sort her out? Mate, I'm married to a Sri Lankan. Trust me. My wife got into the garden and cut the grass herself, filled up the paddling pool, ready for my kids last week. So she's doing well. Right, okay. Now,
go girl.
Right, Nabila, what should Salesh be doing about the lovely Ramiza?
Well, I can't see anything wrong with that, to be honest. I mean, what are guys, around for if not DIY?
Wow, promoting inequality right there, right there.
But surely, look, I mean, he works, she's at home all week. I don't know if they've got kids together. If you have got kids together at Salesh, then unfortunately I've suddenly gone over to her side, because that's much harder work than going out for 50 hours a week and working. In fact, I come to work to get a rest, quite frankly. But
how is the child?
They're both outstanding in a very draining way.
But the problem is, like, that's where you sort things out, on weekends. So for her, it's the only chance to ask him to fix what's bothering her around the house. So it's tricky.
I mean, none. Seriously, no. Wait. No, I think women have this. We've got to the stage where I think at least there's a good proportion of men who at least understand the arguments for doing housework. They might not do it; they understand the arguments. Yeah. So there's a different thing getting them to do it. But I cook. I actually do most of the housework, if not all of it. But
do you ever get a thank you for any of that?
No. But I've taught my wife also now to also participate in this kind of stuff. So it's been a hard slog. She doesn't cook yet, but she goes to Waitrose and she brings home sort of meals which are easy for me to prepare now, at least. So anyway,
getting involved.
But there's lots of couples out there who kind of have that dynamic, but it's never gone the other way. It still seems to be like incapable for a guy to say to a girl, "Look, why don't you do some bloody DIY? Fix the goddamn plug at least, right?" No one, we haven't got that far. Why not, right? Where are all these feminists now? Right? That's what I want to know. Where are they?
You want equality?
Yeah.
When it comes to shelves,
it's so serious.
That's a Guardian journalist.
Not anymore. No, I want to get back to the office.
I'm sorry, but I just think that guy. So what was his name? The one.
Salesh.
Yeah, Salesh. I think is he? I mean, I don't know what their relationships look like normally, but just sounds like he's become a friend with benefits that he does at weekends. He does all the DIY while she relaxes. I think that sounds like an idea. The wrong kind of benefits. My kind of benefits.
I'm not sure spending 10 hours of a weekend outside sanding and painting is a benefit.
I bet she rewarded him well on a Sunday.
Well, luckily this is a family show, so we won't find out about that. We don't need an extra text.
Making him a nice curry.
Oh, of course, that's exactly what you meant. Yes, there you go. Brilliant. I'm glad that we cleared that one up.
No, you already said he worked another 4 hours the next day.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Where's the curry in that? That's what I want to know. You'd be too tired for curry.
And if it was slightly more, shall we say, racy, to use an uncle term, than a curry, the poor fellow would be too tired, sunburnt, probably have some kind of issue.
Passing out.
Passing out, because, of course, he's had to spend 10 hours in the sun.
Phasing in and out of consciousness.
That's exactly right.
She probably did all the work.
Okay, advice to Salesh. Advice.
I think that he's a good guy for doing that. I think that's really lovely that he did that. I think my advice would be to the girlfriend and just say, look, treat him to a lovely night in, big candles and stuff. And he deserves that. But it is a man's job. They are little manly tasks because they're boy jobs. They're boy jobs.
Are you two as women not equipped to sand and paint?
Well, actually, I do the painting. I've just refurbished my flat. I did all the painting.
See?
Yeah, but
Perfect wife.
but I would expect, something else to be done in return. And we don't know the details of their relationship.
that's
She's there at home.
She was tanning herself, people. What more do you want to know?
No, that's true. She wasn't looking after kids.
The sunny weather also good for tanning and relaxing.
Okay, listen.
A hard-working week.
Right, we need to move on because I've got loads of texts coming in here and emails, so please carry on. We are discussing your issues, the things that have really wound you up this weekend. It's called letting off steam, so let off steam on text on 81869, email nihal@bbc.co.uk if you just want to call up and vent and ask what these three fantastic guests I have before me think about your venting, then please do so on 08459 440 445. Good afternoon. It is now 38 minutes past 2. A big shout out to Helena on Twitter who said, laughing my head off turned into BBC Asian Network. Just to confirm, I do most of the DIY at mine. The men in my family are useless. Good. There you go.
Good.
And you just said you boast that you, Shiv Malik, that you laid your own floor in your apartment.
Yeah. Well, I'm claiming some credit.
I would be terrified of the idea of doing that. I just look at anything around my house.
It took me a month and a half, but I did it.
For 4 months, the kind of... Was it the very kind of age of that toilet shower thing that you have? I don't know, it's like a shower attachment.
A toilet and a shower in one?
No,
that doesn't sound hygienic.
I know what you mean.
The
Like
little spray thing. There you go.
The bidet.
But it's like a shower.
It's a shower
It's
thing.
so much more hygienic, can I say, than a luta.
There you go.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay. Well, there were Iranians that ran our house before, and apparently that's acceptable in Iran to do that
Yes.
kind of thing. They're obviously clearly more hygienic than us Asians. So that has been broken for about 4 months, and I've done nothing about it. And I said, I'm going to go to B&Q. I'm going to get that. I've done nothing about it.
You just go to one of those places that do bar stuff, because it's like, those bar drink things. You just get one of those. You could get
With
different...
gas. Hey.
Yes, water on gas.
Whoa. Well, this might become a little bit interesting. All right. Before I go to Ikram in Glasgow's called in, I need to put this out to you listening to BBC Asia Network, right? Shadow has texted in. He said, big annual argument this weekend amongst us cousins about the inevitable release of FIFA 2012 and Pro Evo 2012, of course, football games. Sandeep, Kishan and Rahul say FIFA rules, but Shadow, Chirag and Vishal say Pro Evo rules and FIFA is for kids. What do you think? For those who know, this is a more serious debate than you think. Now, Nabila, Sajida and Shiv don't really want to get involved in this debate, do you? Don't really want to get involved.
I play football, but not as a computer game.
You do?
Yeah.
So I would like to know from you listening right now, can you help us out on this debate? Because my three guests can't, but what do you think? Is FIFA 2012 actually just for kids and Pro Evo is the better? Or do you think it's Pro Evo? So 81869 is the text number. You can email nihal@bbc.co.uk. And when my three fantastic guests can't quite get their heads around one of the problems you have, then I'll leave it out to you. So, and in fact, you can comment on all these problems we're having. Ikram in Glasgow is on the line. Ikram.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. I was in Glasgow
last Thursday. I know.
Yeah.
I was going to tweet you and ask you where you were going to come to.
Mate, I came in and then I did some filming all day long for this programme called The Real Hustle on BBC Three, and I'm going to be a hustler in that, and then I had to fly straight out again. But I'll tell you what, mate, when the rest of the country was having a heat wave, it was a bit grey in Glasgow. But last Wednesday apparently was beautiful, so I missed that.
It was beautiful, but after that, it just went back to the normal grey Glasgow that we normally have.
That must be me bringing the greyness with me. But Ikram, tell me, what do you want to vent?
Right.
What happened to you this weekend?
My son was crying for me to take him out yesterday.
Right.
So I thought I took him out and I put him in the van, which is on my driveway. I've got a big driveway and a big garage.
Right.
And then I've got some stuff lying in the garage, so I was just trying to sort all that out. I was about an hour in the garage sorting it out. And my wife came back from her lesson and she goes, have you not watched him? I said, no. I said, well, he's been in the van. She goes, well, he's peed himself in the van. So then I had to wash out the whole van.
Your son peed himself in your van?
Yep.
How old is it?
He, yeah.
He's 4.
4 years old? Oh, bless him. Oh, poor fella.
Well, he's not such a poor fella. Because today, my dad got pulled over driving the van for not displaying a road tax, got a £60 fine. My son had scrunched up the road tax and flung it out on the driveway.
Oh, no! No, so wait a minute. So, are you getting blamed for this?
I was getting blamed for it because I put him in the front of the van. But my wife actually found the taxi still on the driveway. I was like, relieved at that. I was like, okay, at least I don't have to get a duplicate.
Oh no! So
my dad was a bit raging. £60 fine.
Oh mate, so are you gonna? Okay, wait a minute. Let's find out. Shiv, what do you think Ikram should do to make this good?
Well, you can make it good. I mean, you can know your dad has to be understanding about these things, but it is a bit lame. So it's like the dog ate my homework, right? I mean, I'm not saying your child is a dog, but by any means, obviously. But you are responsible for him, and so you got to just man up and say, look, I'm sorry, Dad.
Should Ikram pay the fine?
Yeah, you have to pay the fine. Hey, I got 3 tickets in a row. My mum's car, like literally day by day by day. I'm a moron, and my mum hates me right now. I literally just paid them off now, and I was like, Mum, we can write
might
in.
have something to do with what you said about her.
Yeah.
more than the car fine.
It's all welling up. It's going to come out. It's not going to be good.
So have you paid these fines?
Yeah, but I was like, don't worry, we can write in. We'll come up with some excuse. She's like, Shiv, just behave yourself. You're an adult. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. You're 30 years old.
Ikram, did you feel like a 9-year-old when your dad had a go at you? Did it make you feel like a kid again?
I did. But see, in my house, I'm always called it, with inverted commas, I'm always called a good son, so I was going to pay the bill anyway. I have to pay the fine anyway. I don't get a choice in that.
Oh, Sajila, should Ikram have to pay the fine after all?
Yeah, no, you should. You should.
That's his dad's grandson.
Yeah, but
a little bit of a laugh. Oh, 60 quid, all right, fine. It's all good. It's a learning part of the learning process.
Is your dad a pensioner?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, see, yeah.
You haven't got much. What's he doing driving a van around, Ikram?
I think there's a better solution as well, which is just take it off your son when he gets to 18. It's just with interest, so it's like £1,000 by then.
Ikram, are you thinking about that?
I'm going to actually put interest on it.
Exactly.
Nabila, what do you think of Ikram's dilemma? He's had a terrible time of it.
Not really. He should be a bit understanding.
His father should be understanding.
Ikram.
Why should Ikram? He's got his little 4-year-old, and Ikram, I'm sure he's a sweet little fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And he's a bit mischievous, as I'm sure you were when you were that age, Ikram.
All 4-year-olds were, yeah.
And did your dad expect you to pay it straight away?
Not straight away. We just got it today, so we'll probably pay it by tomorrow or the day after or something.
Now, are you going to punish your son?
Nah.
Should he?
He's 4. What can you do?
Naughty step. Time out. Take away his Thomas the Tank
Keep him in the sun. Make him do the garage door.
Yeah. No Peppa Pig. Yeah, get him sanding your garage door, Ikram.
We're fixing all these problems. It's great, yeah.
Ikram, are you going to punish him?
Well, my idea of punishment would be making him wear an Arsenal shirt or something,
I couldn't agree with you more, Ikram. Although, to be fair, you probably have social services on your back if you made him wear an Arsenal shirt. Ikram, thank you for sharing that with us this afternoon. My gosh. Right. Salesh has texted in again. Salesh update just to say, no kids, I never got a meal. Ramiza sent me out to get a takeaway on Saturday night. I ended up eating leftover on Sunday night. There you go. Oh, it gets worse.
She's just not that into you.
Okay. Oh, God. Don't say that about poor old Salesh.
Good man.
Somebody needs to tell him. Somebody needs to tell him.
And I'm sure it'd be... What he's got to work out is if he's paying the mortgage, etc., it might be cheaper to move into a smaller place, get rid of her. He's got to weigh up how much he's paying.
It's a cold financial calculation.
Get George Osborne, send him an email. He's in the cold financial calculations at the moment. That's the way we live. Okay, now, something serious, all right? I've been dating a guy for 2 years, not me, obviously. This is a text that's just come in. Now it comes to marriage talk. His mum says I can't speak to my male friends. My boyfriend has said he agreed with it too. It never bothered him in the past 2 years, but now I cannot at all. What do I do? Please don't call me. It'll be obvious who I am, even if I hide my name. Nabila, being told that you can't speak to your male friends.
I think that's very unreasonable. Especially, you live in a world where you have to mix with people, male and female, and you have to interact with people. I think it's, it's being social, it's about being human. You can't just, ban people from talking to each other.
But, I mean, Sajila, if you live in quite a small community, for instance, people talk, people gossip, and if you're a married woman, it would be inappropriate, would it not, for you to be going out to the cinema with one of your male friends once you're married?
But surely that's a decision for you as an adult female to make. Like when I was married, I probably saw less of my male friends, not because I was banned from seeing it from my husband, but just because I thought it wasn't necessarily appropriate. I just, you know,
did he dictate
No,
that?
but if he did, it would have made me want to see them more, because, you know, you can't be told to do that. I mean, there's ways of dealing with this. I mean, if it's a jealousy issue, that's a separate thing. If it's people will talk, it's a community thing, then that's a separate issue to be dealt with differently as well.
From a female perspective, this person anonymously said it never bothered him in the past 2 years. But do you think that's strictly true? Because if he's agreeing with what his mum is saying now, do you think that it did bother him?
I don't know. It might be because the mum's saying it now, and therefore he's towing the kind of family line, and that might be an indication of what a life might be like when they're married.
Well, I mean,
they are married then?
No, he's been dating, and now it comes to marriage talk.
Yeah.
Right. Marriage talk.
See,
now,
there
are an alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah, they are, and I have to say, you know, that's a major wee.
I always thought it was actually the other way around. When you are married, then there's kind of, you know, those things kind of fade away, right? Because you're in a relationship, it's stronger, and actually you've affirmed something there. And I always
would you ever tell your wife not to have male friends?
She has male friends,
right?
Of course, and she hangs out with them. And I mean, we as you said, you know, she doesn't do that all the time, and she doesn't do that. She does it quite rarely. We're usually at home underneath the bed, sort of in a tense sort of
hiding from relatives.
Hiding from relatives. So you know, trying to
that's why you're not out sanding the garage.
So you know, no problem.
It's not a euphemism.
But so I think, you know, it really ultimately it always comes down to you and your partner and the relationship there. There will always be interfering or you know, family members to worry about and a community to worry about. But if you two are strong, ultimately, I think that's always got to be the heart of it. Because then things can work out, you know. Because look, you do have to take sides in family disputes, right? But you have to work together as a couple to kind of toe your own line if you want, and if it's not working now, it's, you know, and if there's already a rift there between what he's doing with his mum and he's already torn, then it's very difficult, and you know, maybe it's not the right thing.
Well, I think in the Asian community, one thing a wife really wants to see is the fact that a husband will stand up to their mum.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems that he's already being counted by his mother.
And that's been one of the big problems for a lot of Asian marriages.
And there's a dynamics between the daughter-in-law, or in this case, a potential daughter-in-law to be, and mother-in-law, and it's a power thing. It's a power struggle. You know, I've been the woman in his life since he's been young, and now this new woman comes in, and I think if I going through that, and I would just give the advice to, like, just try and work it out, because it's ultimately you both want the same thing. You want the best for your husband, your son. So try and work it out, because this could be potentially.
I can't help but feel that this is not a great start, is it?
No, it's not.
The other thing is, hang out more with your mother-in-law, future-to-be mother-in-law. You know,
to try and change her mind.
Make friends with her. Make friends with her.
Take her out.
With your male friends?
Yeah, with the male friends.
She'll love
it.
Some kind of weird cougar dating vibe going on.
Or just, if she's got a good relationship with her partner, just say, look, I can see what your mum's saying, that's fine. In front of her, let's play the game. Yes, of course I'll listen to you, blah, blah, blah.
No, that's a terrible route to go down.
But they're still connected as a couple.
You don't agree with that?
No, because you're always going to be hiding, and then, look, if it is a community thing where you're in a small community like that, you know, people are going to be talking, and then she's going to get upset that she didn't know, and, you know, just be honest, and you two have to be strong together. And if you're asking your husband then, or husband-to-be, to keep lies already, that's a terrible start. That's a terrible start, because it only gets worse.
Yes, it never.
He's sort of looking at me going, well, that's what I do.
Don't judge me.
I do it through comedy. I just take the mickey out of them. I heckle potential partners. Right, let's cross to Birmingham to find out what's coming up on the Noreen's Drive show. Hello, Noreen.
Hello, Nihal. You okay?
Wasn't that a fascinating text? I don't know if you got to hear that, but really, really interesting about being told you can't have male friends. I can't imagine anyone telling you that. You know, that your husband to be saying, well, no, you can't have any mates who are men, and then and then you're kind of agreeing to those.
Oh, yeah, I know, that would be very hard.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult. Anyway, what's coming up on your show? Oh, firstly, did you have a great tropical weekend in the heat wave?
It was beautiful. Barbecue on Saturday, and then yesterday I went to a wedding, and as you can imagine, perfect weather for a wedding. So yeah, lovely weekend.
Amazing. Right, Kate, what's coming up on the show?
So after 3 today, in our Hot 5 with Suki Padda today, we're going to be talking about the Brit Asia Music Awards. Suki will be going through all the winners, and we've got some goss from the night, and news on Big Boss, which is obviously the Indian equivalent of Big Brother. So that's the Hot 5. Play along with What's Shireen Doing. So we do that every Monday.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone listening in who speaks Pashto, I've got a bit of a treat for you on the show today. Please stay with me, and we'll play requests after 5 o'clock. So email me with your favourite tracks to noreen@bbc.co.uk.
Perfect. Have a great show, Noreen.
Thank you.
Alize has texted in saying, I have a dilemma, don't know what to do. My sister-in-law, my husband's sister, doesn't really get on with my sisters. One of my sisters normally writes remarks regarding relative issues, but doesn't write anyone's name on Facebook. The problem is someone has sent a letter to my sister-in-law saying how fake she is and commenting about her character, and she's blaming my sister for it. But my sister's saying, why would we write a letter to her when we can say it to her face? And I know they haven't written it, and she's accusing them. I'm in the middle and I don't know what to do. Wow. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm more shocked that people are writing letters. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, there's hope for newspapers. People are writing letters. People are reading things on
Using
paper.
the post. It's a stamp and everything. Yeah.
So, I mean, wow. Okay, this is interesting, isn't it? Okay. Oh God, the sister-in-law thing is just such a.
You've opened a Pandora's box with this, by the way.
I know.
in-laws thing.
I know. No, just the whole letting off of steam, isn't it? Is definitely doing that. Okay, so this is clearly relating actually to what we talked about before, which is really getting things out in the open, isn't it? I mean, sister-in-law presumably has to have a conversation with Alize's sister face to face, isn't it? And say, I didn't do this.
That's what I don't get, because, you're in a family situation, and, there's this myth that, families should all get on well together and, talk to each other, and it should all be lovey-dovey. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. If they don't get on, well together, they shouldn't interact, or, that's my opinion.
Isn't that very difficult, though? Or is it better to just accept... Okay, this is an interesting one. Is it better to accept in family situations that you don't get on, just ignore each other, don't be unpleasant and get on with it?
Yeah.
Or is it better to pretend you like each other for the sake of the greater harmony?
No, at the end of the day, you meet up, or from time to time for meals, just be respectful to each other. You have a nice moment together, then you all retreat to your own life, and that's fine. You don't have to be rude or
but if you some people are genuinely despicable. You just can't like them. Well, they are. Shit, they are. You know it.
There's hope for everyone. There's hope for everyone.
Oh, you hippie.
Yeah, that's why I work for the Guardian. I
don't get many of you lot.
My father's side of the family had a very interesting tactic. They literally, which I've also adopted, because I personally don't like tension and fighting, but they just didn't used to speak to each other for years. Like a sister and a sister wouldn't, or a sister and brother wouldn't speak to each other for 2 years, 3 years
in the same house.
And they'd
sometimes.
be really and everyone would get together and they'd be really strict about it. They just wouldn't speak to each other. And then one day it'd be all back to normal again. And then it had to be like a thing. It was like no, we are now brother and sisters. Of course, that's it. It's all dropped. It's all forgotten. It's like the mafia.
Wow,
really bizarre.
And no horses heads.
My wife's family, my wife's Jewish, and we went on this family reunion to I shouldn't be saying any of this, but anyway,
you're letting off steam.
They're in Colorado, so I think they might not be listening.
Right,
they'll hunt me down. Anyway, we all went on this family reunion. This was not my family per se, But they started, the tension was building, and they love a bit of a fight and a bit of a gossip between them.
Yeah.
And I'm horrified. And tension started building. Like, when's it all going to blow? When's it all going to blow? And I'm like, well, hopefully it won't. I'm sure everyone will get on. And then suddenly, in the car park of the hotel, bam! They all started fighting. It was terrible. It was awful. The manager had to come out and tell us, "Excuse me, could you move this on, please?"
Wow.
So yeah.
I mean, look.
But then again, you remember, you just come back to you're all family, and so have it out, but settle your differences.
Well, I mean, Sajida, should Alizé play the kind of UN role in this and try and bring her sister and her sister-in-law together, or is she best to just stay away from it and let it run its own course, do you think?
What would I do? I'd if they weren't giving me this earache in each side, then I would probably think, let them get on with it. But if they are, that's involving me now, and that's infecting my life. So then I would probably try and say, look, guys, come on, we're family. Let's try and, you don't have to like each other, but at least be civil when we go to family functions and stuff. Because that's all they have to do, is just be civil. You don't have to.
Rather than try and broker it so that it's mended, actually just say learn to tolerate each other.
Yes, because there's an obvious dislike between these two people, and I'm more for communication. I think Alizé, now that she's involved, she should smooth things.
It's because it's going to be better for her to have a smoother ride when they're family functions, because then, like, look, I'm having a family function, you guys are both welcome to come. If you're going to kick off, don't bother coming. But if you're going to come, just be civil and be nice to each other, because that's all you want, is a simple life. You can't make them be friends. I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think that's possible? You think that's
I don't think you can make anyone be friends with each other or like each other. You can't force them to. That's got to be a natural thing. And they may, after a while.
I mean,
they obviously have a very low opinion of each other.
But won't there always be an atmosphere? If everybody knows that these two don't get on, isn't it better to try and get them to find a common way of getting on, rather than just kind of saying tolerate each other? Because inevitably, like you witnessed in Colorado, something will snap, won't it? Something will wind them up.
Like the Christmas kind of EastEnders Christmas meal.
Oh no, they'll find an excuse. It sounds like they're using Facebook as a weapon already. Then you'll find an excuse.
It is up to them to sort of sort it out. And if that was me, I would just think, if you can't sort it out, don't come to the functions. You'll be excluded from the family.
The likelihood is that they probably have a lot more in common than they think.
Okay, just very quickly, because this is brilliant, and I do apologise to all the texts and emails we haven't managed to go through this afternoon. Nihal, this was my argument with my partner. He lives alone. I went over on Saturday evening for a Chinese takeaway. When I went to take the dishes in the kitchen, I noticed a girly mug in the dish rack, the kind of mug you would give to your girlfriend. When I questioned him, he got all defensive and started to verbally abuse me. I feel he's cheating on me, but he always denies it. I hope he's listening to the show. What do you think?
A girly mug?
I'm not quite sure what a girly mug is. But
oh, please. If that's going to be evidence for an affair, a mug is the last of it. It's the least bit of evidence. I mean, lacy underwear, yes. A mug in the dishwasher, please.
So you think she's overreacting?
Yeah, unless he's having an affair with the crockery. I mean, whatever.
There's the male perspective. What do you think?
If there's a girly mug and he started abusing her, there's definitely something going on.
Well, I think
do you agree?
If he got all upset because she had suspicions, there's clearly something to be discussed.
Or like Shiv, he's incensed that she would even look at a cup and think,
why has he got a girly mug? Why has he got a girly mug?
Because he's in touch with his feminine side.
TV and online. This is BBC Asian Network.
Nabila Ramdani and